Have you ever looked at your bank account and thought, where did all my money go? You get paid. For a few days, everything feels fine. Then the rent comes out, the bills come out, you buy groceries, you order something online, you go out with friends, and suddenly, you're waiting for the next paycheck again. The problem isn't always that you don't make enough money. Sometimes, the real problem is that we don't have a system for handling the money we already have. And no, I'm not going to tell you to stop buying coffee, never go out, or live like you're broke. Today, let's talk about a realistic way to handle money, one that actually works in normal life. 1. Know where your money is going. The first step is surprisingly simple. Know what happens to your money. For just 1 month, track your spending. Not forever, just 1 month. Look at your bank statements and divide your expenses into a few simple categories. Needs: rent or mortgage, groceries, transportation, utilities, insurance. Wants: restaurants, entertainment, shopping, subscriptions, hobbies. And then, savings and debt. How much are you actually putting aside? You might discover something uncomfortable. Maybe you spend $200 a month on random online purchases. Maybe you have 5 subscriptions you barely use. Maybe you're spending way more on food delivery than you realized. The point isn't to feel guilty. You're not doing an audit because you're a bad person. You're doing it because you can't manage what you don't understand. Once you know where your money is going, you can start making better decisions. 2. Stop treating all your money as spendable. Here's one mistake a lot of people make. They check their bank account and see $3,000, and their brain says, I have $3,000. But you probably don't. Some of that money already has a job. Maybe $1,500 is for rent and bills. Maybe $300 is for groceries. Maybe $200 needs to go toward debt. Maybe $300 should go into savings. So the amount you can actually spend might be much smaller. This is why having separate accounts can help. You could have 1 account for bills, 1 account for everyday spending, and 1 savings account. It doesn't have to be complicated. The idea is simply to give your money different jobs. Because when everything sits in 1 account, it's very easy to think, I can afford it, when in reality, you're spending money that already belongs to next month's bills. 3. Pay yourself first. Now let's talk about saving. A common approach is, I'll spend what I need, and whatever's left at the end of the month, I'll save. The problem? Usually, nothing is left. There's always something. A dinner, a repair, a sale, a birthday, a weekend trip. And suddenly, your savings plan disappears. Instead, try this. Save first. Spend what's left. It doesn't have to be a huge amount. If you're able to save $500 a month, great. If it's $100, that's fine. Even $25 is better than building the habit of saving nothing. The important thing is consistency. And automate it if you can. If your paycheck arrives Friday, have your savings automatically move on Friday or shortly after. That way, you're not relying on motivation, because motivation is unreliable. Automation is much more reliable. 4. Build an emergency fund. One of the most important things you can do with your money is build an emergency fund. Because emergencies don't ask if you're financially prepared. Your car breaks down, your phone dies, you need an unexpected repair, you lose some income, something happens, and suddenly you need money immediately. Without savings, you might have to use a credit card or borrow money, and that's when a small problem can turn into a much bigger financial problem. You don't have to build a huge emergency fund overnight. Start small. Your first goal could be $500. Then $1,000. Then gradually work toward enough money to cover several months of essential expenses. The exact number will depend on your situation, but the idea is simple. Give yourself a financial cushion. Because savings don't just protect your bank account, they protect your peace of mind. 5. Be careful with lifestyle inflation. Here's something that happens when people start earning more money. They immediately start spending more. You get a raise, so you upgrade your car. You move into a more expensive apartment. You start eating out more. You buy better clothes. And somehow, you're making more money but still feel broke. That's lifestyle inflation, and it's one of the easiest ways to stay financially stuck. I'm not saying you should never enjoy your money. You worked for it. Enjoy it. But when your income increases, don't increase your lifestyle by the same amount. If you get a $500 monthly raise, maybe use $250 for your lifestyle and put $250 towards savings, investing, or debt. That way, your life gets better and your financial position gets stronger. 6. Don't try to look rich. There's another uncomfortable truth about money. Sometimes we're not spending money because we need something. We're spending because we want to look like we're doing well. The expensive car, the designer clothes, the latest phone, the fancy restaurant. And social media makes this even worse. You see someone taking a vacation and think, why can't I live like that? But you don't see their credit card bill. You don't see their debt. You don't see their bank account. You only see the highlight. So don't build your financial life around impressing people. Looking wealthy and being financially secure are two completely different things. A person with an average car and a healthy savings account may be in a much better financial position than someone driving an expensive car with thousands of dollars of debt. Choose financial peace over financial appearance. 7. Give yourself some freedom. And finally, don't make your budget so strict that you hate it. Money isn't only about saving. You're allowed to enjoy your life. Set aside some money specifically for fun. Maybe it's $100 a month. Maybe it's $300. Whatever fits your situation. Spend it without guilt. Because if your financial plan says you can never enjoy anything, eventually you'll probably abandon the plan completely. The goal isn't to control every dollar. The goal is to control your money enough that it doesn't control you. At the end. So if you're trying to get better with money, don't try to completely change your life tomorrow. Start with 3 things. Know where your money is going, save something before you start spending, and give every dollar a purpose. You don't need to become rich overnight. You just need to become a little more intentional with your money every month. Because financial freedom usually doesn't come from one big decision. It comes from small decisions repeated for years. And that is something almost anyone can start doing today.